Mm.
I hope I have everything set, to be honest. I hope. Like, sometimes I wonder if the auto start is going to kick in, because sometimes you try to stream on YouTube and it doesn't auto start, and then you're like kind of sitting there looking at it and you're like, oh, I wonder if it's going to start. And other times you do it and it just works and you're like, oh, brilliant. Perfect. This is one of those times. Hello and welcome to That Beautiful Life podcast. This is episode 181 of That Beautiful Life podcast. Legend is the episode, based on someone legendary. You know, actually, no, it's based on a film. Said, I am the beautiful Khadis Campbell, sitting here in the beautiful Reading, United Kingdom, talking, of course, to the beautiful Roger Bergstrom, all the way in Stockholm, Sweden. Raj, how are you doing?
Oh, thank you. I'm fine, and I hope you guys out there are fine as well. I am starting to sweat though, and I was thinking, is it that warm or hot? But it's not really. It's more like humid air.
Mm-hmm.
We have been going back and forth between some really good days with, even though the forecast has been, I remember this weekend reading that it would be like shite the whole week, like, rain, but that hasn't really been the case. But yeah, there are, days when we get rain now.
Mm-hmm.
And in some way that was good. Like Monday we had thunderstorm, which was some time ago. On the other hand, that helped, when it like bursts really strong and it rains, like if you were, like in the tropics or whatever have you. And then later, the same evening, you feel that the air was much easier to breathe, and yeah, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, as we're speaking, I think it started just a half an hour ago.
Started raining a half an hour ago?
It's getting hot in here. No, the temperature is... or it's me having some climate changes within my body. I don't know. I have to... I'll come back about it. I'll come back about it later during the episode. But we see. It's so weird. Oh, or maybe it's because I'm drinking some hot tea at the same time. When I eat breakfast, I have tea, and I usually save my tea, most of it at least, for the podcast, so you have something to drink while talking.
You're smarter than me, to be honest. Honestly, like, you are. Like, with regards to that kind of stuff, like, I don't save anything for the podcast. I come in here like
empty-handed,
like, just empty-handed. Upset with myself. I'm like, I don't have anything. I'm just like, I hope someone comes in here and like, is generous, brings food for me or something.
On your soul.
Yeah. Have mercy.
Have mercy.
I'm just a humble man. Oh, feed me.
It's a Sahara desert in my throat. I need water.
I need water. I need sandwich. I need food.
Yeah.
But I don't have that right now. I used to have that.
Throw in a Rudy as well. Yeah. So it's.
What? Sorry.
No, I'm not gonna go.
You did it as recorded, right? So when I'll listen back to it, I'm like, oh, did you say a roti?
Yeah, I was trying to, but it did come out that well. Due to pronunciation, but
that's the thing. Like, despite even if you slur a word, like a few seconds later, like my brain reconstructs it in there, and it's like, oh, that's what he meant. Yeah, I get it.
You know what? When you say that, that's kind of interesting. I just saw an article when it comes to the written language, and how you can misspell really hard. And the brain will still, like, if you read someone's text and it's really misspelled, like almost, if you look at it at first, it's like, what is this? Another language? But it was actually something written in English, but they had just spelled it so wrong. But the brain has, as you just mentioned, also, getting things together with the spoken word, an ability to put it together right, So I was almost surprised myself that I could read it and understand everything. But I guess that's just the amazing things when it comes to the brain and everything, that it can handle those kind of things. I mean, it's interesting. People can start to say things about, oh, you've spelled this, you spelled this wrong. It can be something on Facebook or whatever, and it's like, yeah, and so what? Not me. I always spell right, but others, yeah.
Yes, these others who need to improve their spelling, of course.
Exactly.
I remember actually some years ago. back when we used to have that Facebook group that we used to, I think for the Button Smashers back in the day. I remember there was this one person in that group. She used to always autocorrect everyone. Like if you wrote a sentence and a comma was missing or something, she'd be like, "Oh, you missed a comma there," like, or she'd be like, "Oh, you spelled that wrong." And I was just like, like, who the hell comes on Facebook to do that shit? Like you have a lot of time, to be out there in these Facebook streets, trying to tell people how to do, just like how to just like, I don't know, like who has that time? Like really, like no one on Facebook Facebook is not a formal place, it's not like work or anything like that or school. The idea that you would be sitting there waiting for someone to spell something wrong or whatever have you to tell them, but you did it wrong though, like.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool, and I see you're writing there also in the chat. I know who you are, but I say Miss AR. But it's not really. Yeah, okay. As you say, the letters have to be the same, but in different order. Yeah, you have to give the brain the right signals to correct it while using the right letters. That is, of course, the case. But what is? I think SQ admitted to many spelling mistakes. Well, but I think it's also what I said, being almost a bit snobby, saying like, "Oh, I never misspell" or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a bit rare, but on the other hand, it's always someone. If you go out there and you write something like that, there will be most likely someone coming in there correcting you, right?
Yep.
So I can understand when you describe this person, whoever she. Yeah. So. It is a thing. It is a thing.
There do be some people who live that life, I think it's a sad life to live.
Yeah. We don't have time to do that, especially, I mean, there are, at least in my book, other things that are more important.
Damn right.
And I think living the life with all that comes with it is a good start. And that's, I guess, something people are trying and sometimes also struggling with, especially as an adult. You and I have talked about the fact, we talked about the time going back, thinking about when we were kids. I am happy where I'm at now. I'm happy with my life as a whole, I would say, and my family, everything like that. But sometimes, just sometimes, I can think back when I was, growing up, and everything was I was just playing, and I got like food, and I went from
you did?
Thankfully, food. Well, at least once a week, and things like that. It was very convenient. All these adult things, they can really get to you, can't they?
Yeah, adult life sucks, man. Like, trust me on that one. Like, if you're a kid right now listening to this, like, don't grow up. Just
don't grow up.
Like, and I'm not saying like don't get mature. Just don't age. Like.
Basically, that's it.
Just don't age. That's the life there, right there. You will survive. It'll be all right. Yeah, it'll be all right. Just don't age. No. That's essentially it.
It's a different thing. I mean, all ages has its own perks in a way. And we've also talked, on the other hand, how good it feels when you do get older, because you also get more like, you know what you want, you know what you like, you know what you don't like, definitely. And it's easier for you to make those kind of choices.
Yeah.
Hence comparison to when you were like, I mean, I think I pretty knew what I wanted when I was like a teenager as well. But I mean, you are still more or less a kid, and there are insecurities there as well. And there are other things that, pushes you in a certain direction sometimes. Interesting.
It do be
the
like
life,
that
beautiful life. But talking about that, my friend, what have you been up to this week?
Well, first thing I want to say is, for those of you who are enjoying the podcast and coming in the early shift, drop a like for us. We appreciate these likes in the chat. It helps it helps the algorithm and all that kind of good stuff. For the rest of you who hate the podcast, learn to like it. We're trying here.
It's a learning curve. It's a learning curve.
It's a learning curve. It's a learning curve indeed. That being said, with regards to the week, I should start with like, one of the reasons why I can't have, like I mentioned before, that, I started a podcast and, I look forward to having food brought to me and stuff like that, because I didn't grab breakfast before the show. And And I think about the fact that there was a portion of time in recent time where I would get something every podcast episode. Like I would be sitting here and food would come to me. And that portion of time, and I say this as not like it's never happened before in the past, but I'm talking about consistently. Like I was having food brought to me consistently, like almost every week.
Okay.
And that portion of time coincided with a certain visitor of mine visiting, which was Chris. Chris is not here anymore. Chris is
yeah, he's gone back now.
He has returned home.
Tobago.
He has he returned home last Sunday.
Okay.
So Sunday last, he got on a flight at 10 a.m. and flew back. So we dropped him to the airport Saturday night at midnight, or let's say Sunday morning at like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. or somewhere around there, because we left for midnight and got to the airport at like maybe 1, 2 a.m. But he wanted, because we had basically two choices. Either we could drop him late in the night before, due to my brother's time schedule, or he can catch the train early in the morning around like 7 a.m. or something like that. He preferred the direct drop to the airport than to take the train, so we ended up going the night before, dropped him off. So he got to the airport there. Me personally, I'd have taken the train. Actually,
too.
That's not true. That's not true. I wouldn't have taken the train. I'd have gone the night
You wouldn't?
before. Honestly, I took, like, when you and I went to the airport, like when I stayed with you, I took the train because in the morning, because like I knew you knew what, like, time and everything like that, so I'd be fine. But if I'm in a strange place by myself, I'm taking a direct lift if I can. I would do the train if I have more time. Like I'd try to get a much earlier train at least. It wouldn't, like, if my flight is for 10, I'm probably trying to get a train for like 4 in the morning or something like that.
Oh,
right?
Really?
Yeah.
How long does the train? How long does it take?
I don't know, probably like an hour and a half, maybe 2.
Yeah. Is that to Heathrow or what is it?
Oh no, it was to Gatwick, which is
Gatwick.
further than Heathrow, and it always, like, whenever you take the trip to Gatwick, it's like it feels like you're going forever on the road. Like I hate the ride to Gatwick, honestly. On the train it's fine. Like I don't mind the ride to Gatwick. It feels quicker on the train, and it also like you're on a train, you could be on your phone watching YouTube videos or something.
Exactly.
But in a car it's horrible. It's just horrible in a car. It just feels so long. And that's when you're driving at high speed, it just feels forever.
Yeah.
It's an arduous trip. That being said, so Chris has left. He's gone back home and all that kind of stuff. He's off doing Chris things, probably. And we've chatted a bit since he's gotten back. Send the odd message here and there and stuff like that. He's sort of like, getting his computer back up and running and stuff like that. He said he showed me like a video. His whole room is like covered in I think like sheets. So his brother was using his room, and because he was gone for so long, sort of covered down everything so like it doesn't get all dusty. So his computer and stuff like that.
Smart.
So so Chris was like, he's just doing some cleaning up and just setting up everything, I guess, so he can use his computer and his stuff and all that kind of thing. So that's pretty good, he's back and all that kind of stuff, sending me pictures of the beach and the view and all that kind of stuff. He's like, it's so hot, cute, hot. I was like, yeah, man, I could imagine. I mean, he's been in this temperature for a while. I mean, you go back to the tropics, it's like, whew, I can feel that.
Yeah.
So
he had to adjust back now.
You do have to. I think the one thing I will say though, as someone who's gone from the temperate back to the tropics and had to go through that adjustment, it's hard. It is difficult to adjust to the heat than it is to the cold. I find it's more difficult.
I can imagine that. Yeah.
Because with the cold, you have a bit more control over your temperature. Like you can dress with more clothes. That's
correct.
With the heat, I mean, there's only so much clothes you can take off. Yeah.
Exactly. Before people start to stare too much, maybe.
Pretty much before you start getting into trouble. So
exactly.
So yeah,
when the police officer comes up to you, so you have to cover. You can't walk around like that.
Nah, they got pity to the ground. I just like, actually, to be honest, do police officers, like, would a police officer touch you if you're naked? Like, if I'm a police officer, I ain't touching no naked dude, right? I'm just sorry. Like, you could probably poop on me or something, or wee on me. Like, I ain't even getting close to you. Like, I'm just like, look, like, sir, put yourself in these handcuffs. Here you go. Put them on.
Yeah.
Walk into the police car.
Today it's self-service.
Self-service arrest. That's it.
Yeah. What a beautiful thing. Self-service arrest.
Yeah, it's arrest
It
yourself.
comes with a bit of an insight of the dude just making something wrong. You know,
to be
like
honest, I think that could actually work, you know, like for maybe
Yeah.
to some people, especially like in the States where people are afraid of like the police like pinning them to the ground and killing them and stuff. Like
Yeah.
if the officer just comes up to them and chucks a handcuff to them, they're like, look, put these on, you're under arrest. Like I think it might work, you know. I think some people would willingly like, you know what, hey, this is better than you pinning me to the ground, fam. Like 1 on, 2 on, take me. You know, like
yeah.
make
The
it
door is
easy.
open to the car, and you have some kind of automated system. You come in, you walk like through a little lane. You have maybe to fill in something or make like, oh, we've seen the movies. You have to make like a thumb thing or whatever have you. And then,
You do everything.
and the cell door is open, and you just walk in there, and yeah,
I mean, you've got
close it by
self-service.
yourself. Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, you've got self-service at a supermarket, so like when you go to buy groceries, like you don't even have to talk to people anymore. You just walk in.
Exactly.
Beep, and
Well, that's the sad part in a way. Oh shit!
I
it's
love
all
it.
automated.
I love it. I do not like talking to people unless I have to. I will go to the supermarket and I will literally, and this is one of the things that I can see the difference in culture that like being here for a while and considering, like for example when Chris was here, whenever Chris and I would go to the supermarket, like Chris would go to the person. He would want to go and to the teller.
Yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
I'm like, mate, we gotta queue up for this. Like, there are people in front of us in this queue, all of them like older people, of course, and they would just be standing there, just like waiting and stuff, and I'd just be like, everyone else would just go to self-service, unless of course if self-service actually had a queue as well, because sometimes the self-service machines are broken, and then you have to go in the queue. But generally speaking, like most people, right? Most people would just go and use the self-service.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like
we do that as well. Like if it's there, we do that definitely. It does save time.
yes.
Also, when we have been shopping, like quite some, you know, like for the family, if that makes sense, like the whole binge of it, then yeah, it's really, really nice because it also, you know, usually it saves you time as well, like as a whole. So yeah, definitely, I am into that. I think that's a good invention. It's like
it's brilliant. There's only one situation where I see it's best to go to the till, and that's if you go to the supermarket and you're not sure how much you have on your count or something, or you picked up more things than you need, and you're like, okay.
Right.
If I go over by about like, you know, a couple of pounds and stuff, I need to put something back, you know, like if you're doing self-service, that's a problem because like you got to call that person over and they're waiting. You're waiting for them because they're helping like 6 other people. And that just seems arduous. But when you're at the till, you can just tell the person like, yeah, I don't want that thing anymore. Like you can put that back, and they'll be like, okay, and they'll call them. They'll just like either scan the thing or they'll call their manager and they'll scan their card and then they'll do it for you. That's the one time I think it's like significant that you should like go to the tills. Other than that, self-service, man. Like
bro, I have to add to this. I mean, we talked about the expensive prices now and meat getting expensive, everything, butter, whatever. You know, and here, I'm not sure how it is in the UK, but you have these random controls. Like maybe you've had it as well. Here in Sweden, it's like, yeah, it's random, but sometimes it happens. It's happened to us as well. And you just have to wait, and maybe it's a sheik that comes around and they check like I think it's 20 different things that you bought. Just to see that it makes, you know, it adds up to the sum and everything, so it's correct, and then like thank you and goodbye. So they do that. I don't mind. I understand why they're doing it. However, recently I saw it in the news. There's been due to the and I can understand it, and it's kind of sad. It has been more like people not being honest, you know, more or less stealing, if you will. So some stores has actually closed the self-service department.
Really?
So yes. It's that's where we are now. Even in I don't know how to put it, even in like a civilized country like Sweden, it's like, yeah.
I'm thinking like for me, the way I think how self-service works, I think to myself like if you didn't scan the product, isn't it going to make an alarm or something? Like, isn't that how? Sorry.
No, it doesn't.
We're getting all bad information
it
here in the
only has the
podcast.
barcode. It's only the barcode for the scanning and everything, but there won't be sounds actually.
Unless, of course, it's like a big product or something that, you know, that actually has a tag on it. Because I know, like, sometimes in supermarkets, they do have those scanny things that make a noise. And I would like to assume sometimes if you buy like a big product, maybe you buy a microwave or something, it has a box, you know?
Yeah, but then there's a thing, like, think about it. For example, if you're in a dress, like you're buying jeans or something, there's this small brick, like a thing sitting that is attached to the trousers, and they take it away when you buy the product, the jeans or shirt, whatever, and then you're good to go. Because if it's still on and you leave the store,
then it goes
there are
off.
sensors by the doors that whoop, 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 then you have the sound going off. Or maybe not, boop, 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 maybe something, I don't know, but you know, you get it. But when it comes to food, it's not like that. And I think, I just got a picture in my head. Imagine if it was like capsules, somewhat like as if you were like a bank robbery or something, and you know,
a bank robbery.
Bank robber boy and robber boy duck. and you get, you know, when the color goes off and destroys the money literally. And if that would happen, if you take if you haven't really been scanning properly, and because I kind of forgot I had like kind of meat there and stuff, and you go through these doors or whatever have you, and it's like poof, it says poof, you know, it's like a cloud of red smoke. That would be something.
That would be something indeed. I think I would have to assume people here in the UK are probably a bit more honest about that kind of stuff, because I've not heard anything like that.
Oh no! Don't think a second. They haven't
gotten caught, or they don't care.
No, I don't know. Maybe something in between. I don't know. But of course, it happens in the UK as well. It's just. It's just sad. I mean, this has, of course, a background of what we have discussed before, also due to the fact that, like, everything right now is everything is
expensive. It is. Everything is super expensive.
Yeah, it is.
It is super. Like, I had to talk to the boys this morning, like I was saying to you earlier, about the cost of like how everything is just really expensive right now. And I think the other thing too is like I think it's affecting stores as well a lot, because like, for example, here in the UK there's a game shop called Game that sells it's like GameStop for the UK, and Game recently, like we were out as a family. I can't remember what day we were out. We were just walking through town and we were looking at stuff, and you know, we were planning to, you know, just sort of like just out together, spending time together and all that kind of stuff. A nice afternoon in town, and we decided we're gonna like go to Game, you know, and just because we like to go to Game. We're a family of gamers. We like going in there, looking at new games. I mean, most of the games we already own, so we just go in there just to like look at stuff. But we don't actually buy anything most of the time we go in there. So we're in Game and we're walking around, and we're going to Game, to walk around, and there's a sign on the door, and it's like, we've moved to Sports Direct, right? So we're like, okay, Sports Direct is on the high street. So we go to the high street and we're looking for Sports Direct. Sports Direct has also moved. It's no longer in the same location. It's somewhere else. It's on the other side of the high street. So we go to Sports Direct and we walk into there, and we're like, okay, Game is in here somewhere, right? So the front of Sports Direct is a bunch of sportswear and clothes and all that kind of stuff. And you can see a sign that says Game, and it's an arrow.
Yeah.
But the arrow is confusing because it looks like it's pointing upstairs. But then when I'm walking up the stairs, Zavi's like, no, Dad, the sign is saying this way. So I'm like, oh, crap. Come back down, go the other way. We finally find Game. It's to the back of the store, like the left back of the store. It's in the back. And we get to the back of the store. And Alex is like, oh, this is horrible. Like, they've ruined it. Like, it's like, it's like a dark corner in the back of the store. Like, Game, whenever we went to Game was bright. It was like going to like some kind of Christmas village or something. In the back of Sports Direct, it's like a dark, dingy, you know what sports stores are like. They're not bright and shiny.
No.
They sell sneakers, so like,
Yeah.
so we're in the back there and we're walking through and they've got like less, it looks like it has less stuff. And I was like, this is horrible, and I'm holding Ty's hand because like, he's going to want to grab everything he sees on the shelf. So I'm like, look, hold my hand. Let's go, buddy. We're walking through the shops. And Xavi's walking through and he's grabbing everything and looking at it, putting it back, look at it, put it back. And then we get to a point in a portion of the store where they've got Pokemon cards, right? Now, in game, they used to sell Pokemon cards a lot, and it used to be behind the till. So behind the till, you'd go behind the till, and you'd ask them for the Pokemon cards, and they'll sell them to you. In Sports Direct, the Pokemon cards are in the back of the store where this area is, and they're behind a shelf. And where it is, like how it's positioned, Pokemon cards come in sleeves, right? Like they're thin sleeves that you can. I'm telling you, Rog, if someone wanted to, now I'm an honest person, so I wouldn't do it. But if I wasn't an honest person, Rog, I could have left Sports Direct with at least 10 Pokemon cards in my pocket, because those things don't have a scanning thing on them to make any noise, right? And number two, right, at the end of it all, right, the Pokemon cards themselves are in a thin sleeve. Like, you can pick it up, and where it's positioned in the store as well, there's no visible lines for anyone, even if someone is keeping an eye on that portion of the store. There are no visible lines for them to actually see you because there's a shelf in the way. The only way they can actually see you taking those Pokemon cards is if they're behind that shelf with you, right? Or there is a camera there, though. There is a camera there. But I like to think young kids, like teenagers or whatever have you, they don't care about that kind of crap. They're like, look, I'm probably never going to come back to this shop anyway. I'm going to take this thing and I'll be gone. And, as a teenager, no one's going to they're going to be like, oh, whatever. I think the store is going to be like.
It could be tempting.
Yeah. It could be. I think as a teenager, it's probably super tempting. If you're a teenager who collects Pokemon cards or something, this is not me saying go do this to Sports Direct. I don't believe that, because we actually went to the one of the ladies working there. We're like, look, you should probably keep an eye in the back there, because it is. I'm just saying, kids come in here. That's a very easy target, if I do say so myself. And and I went over to tell her. Alex had already told her about it. Like, Alex was there, talking to the lady. I got up there and I was like, yeah, Alex was like, I just told her the same thing. I was like, girl, I'm just saying, So, yeah, generally speaking, yeah, COVID is, not COVID, sorry. The cost of living is affecting everything, the cost of living. I'm just saying, Game had to go inside a Sports Direct and downsize and get lame, and they don't even give a crap about Pokemon cards no more. I'm just saying, it's. I'm sure Pokemon cards is probably a big, especially a pack of Pokemon cards £5. That's expensive.
Yeah.
£5 for a pack of Pokemon cards, and then someone could take 10 easy. Nah, you're being silly at that point. That being said. We haven't even gone into the week. I did mention that Chris has left the premise. He's left. I am sad for the lack of mid podcast snacks and and meals and stuff like that. On occasion, Alex does make me something, but if she has a busy morning, she's not making me anything. So which is understandable. If she's busy, I don't expect her to make me anything. But when Chris was here, my guy was free, so he would make me something all the time, and I loved it. So generally speaking, I do miss Chris not being here for that reason. I also miss him for other reasons as well. He would cook fairly frequently, and he would make certain things that I wouldn't. Sometimes I walk in the kitchen, I'm like, there's nothing to eat here. Chris will walk in the kitchen and be like, oh, you've got some rice there. Let's make something flamboyant. And he'd just make a whole meal.
I can imagine. See the possibilities.
He sees possibilities in the kitchen. I'm like, we don't got any oats. We're gonna starve today.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, last night I came back. We went to Alex went over to my brother's house, and I went to meet her to come back with her. We were cycling back, and we get back. And my brother gave us some lasagna, right? But it was just her lasagna. So she was like, I'm eating this by myself. I'm not sharing with you. And I was like, fine then. And I just stormed off, went upstairs to the office. I was just like, I don't even want to see you anymore. So like after she left with her lasagna, after I came back down after like I was sure she was not in the kitchen because I didn't even want to see or smell the lasagna. I came back down and I was like, I gotta eat something. I'm hungry, right? And I'm looking in the fridge. There's goulash in the fridge. There's some pasta Alex made. I don't want that pasta. I don't want that goulash because I had that for breakfast and lunch. I don't want that. So I'm like, I need something else to eat. And I'm there thinking, oof, what should I eat? And then I'm like, oh, there's nothing to eat in the house. I was like, I want to make something. There are no ingredients to cook. You know, in the end, I ended up in the freezer, took out some chips, you know, some fries, chucked that in the oven with some fish fingers. Yeah, I'm eating like a 2-year-old, you know, like, like chuck some frozen fish fingers in there. And that was my dinner last night. It was abysmal, to say the least. I am going to have to cook today, though, because I was going to be busy working and we need food. So I'm going to have to cook something today. I'm not sure yet what I'm cooking, but I'll have to figure something out throughout the course of the day or something like that. But generally speaking, despite all the things that I miss about Chris not being here, I'm just saying, boy, I do have things that I missed from him being here. You know, I missed from him, you know, before he wasn't here. You know what I mean? Thing number one is I got my office to myself again. Ooh, it's amazing. It's amazing. I loved having Chris here, but my God, did I not have my office to myself? And it was, your boy was suffering, if I do say so myself. You know, like, I spent 2 days in the office just not doing anything. I'm just like, I'm just sitting here, just like, yeah, it's my office again. I'm back, baby. Yeah, I'm just like, I spent 1 day just like cleaning it. It was already clean to begin with, like, you know, but I just came in, I was just like doing like miniature DIY things in here, like, oh yeah, let me just do that. You know, let me just vacuum this spot for like the 10th time, you know, like, and then like I like spent the other day, like I think yesterday I just sat in the office for like most of the day, just like, you know, just like looking at things on the computer, you know, just clean. You know, I was like, my computer's in here, I'm in here with my computer, we're friends, my computer knows me, I know the computer. Yeah. So generally speaking, I love having my office back again. It's amazing.
Oh, nice.
Chris, you are missed in this house, except for my office.
Well, look at that now.
That being said, other than that too, I think the other perk that I've forgotten about is being able to just wear whatever the hell you want in your house, like in random, like I don't have to dress up in the house, like I don't walk around in my boxes and stuff like that. Anybody's business.
That is a perk. I know what you mean.
Huge perk. Huge perk. And I know Alex loves it too, because like I saw her come into the office this morning. She came in the office to complain that I wasn't in bed last night because I was in the office. She's like, why you wasn't in bed? I was like, well, I had no excuse, to be honest. The truth is I was in the office. No, I didn't sleep in the office. I slept on the sofa actually, but I was in the office so late, like just chilling in the office, that by the time I was finished, I was like, if I go into bed right now, she's going to wake up. And in the morning time, she's going to complain to me that I woke up. So I was like, let me just stay in the office and chill. And then I'll go. Right. And then I did intend to go in bed. I was like, oh, let me just wait. I'll just go in bed later, right? So I was like, I'll just go on the sofa. I'll do some reading, you know, watch something on my phone. And then 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it. That was it. I was just like, yep. I woke up this morning like that. I was just like, oh, wait a minute. I'm still here.
Okay.
So yeah, I was just like, that's brilliant. You know, so office life, brilliant. Being able to walk around and whatever. So yeah, she came in the office to thing, and she came in a towel, right? I just don't walk in no towel when someone's here in the house. Like, she's dressed, you know, she's got clothes on. She comes in a towel, a bit of leg is sticking on the side, you know. I'm just like, yeah, she comfortable now. She living that comfortable life again. Yeah. So and so do I, you know. I be living that comfortable life too, you know. I'm just saying, you know. I don't walk in a towel, but you know, your boy has. I've been wearing tank tops and you know, boxer shorts, you know. Yes, briefs, you know, comfortable things, you know.
That's good. That's
good. So So that's generally I guess the perk of having your house back to yourself. Yes, it's nice to have guests every now and then, but I'm just
It
saying
is.
the freedom of having your space again is brilliant.
It's true. I understand.
It's
I know where you're coming from,
I just saying.
all that. Yeah.
Yes,
Is there
it's
anything else you want to add to the week, or should I jump into what
I don't know. I
what
don't know.
I've
I
experienced?
honestly, this week has been a bit of again, Chris leaving to head back
Yeah.
home. We had a family get together. We tried to have a board game night, but the kids were involved.
Yeah.
And you have a board game night with kids, it doesn't turn into a board game night. We ended up just drinking beers and watching the kids, and talking about shit. Like that was basically what happened.
Well, that can be nice too, but I understand. Yeah, sure.
It was brilliant. So yeah, I mean, honestly speaking, it's been just really nice, just chill. I think the highlight of the week for me of this like just whole general time, I think it was either Saturday or Sunday. I think it was maybe Saturday morning. We were all sitting in the living room. It was me, Alex, Ty, and Zavi in the living room. Right. I was on my laptop playing Trails in the Sky. Alex was on her Switch playing Fire Emblem Engage. Ty was on his Switch playing Pokemon, whatever the frack it was, and Zavi was on the PlayStation playing Ni no Kuni. We were a household of JRPG players playing in the house and the living room all together. It was so cool. I was just like, there was a moment I had where I was just like, I've always wanted this. This is so rare. My family is so cool. I was like, every other family sucks. Us up there, brilliant. Cooler than everyone else. Everyone else needs to get on our level, right? I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
So you big strums need to step your game up. I'm just saying.
Oh man, might be so, but we have been active. If that makes sense. Yes, as a family, I have to mention we had a really nice kind of yeah. Actually Annalie found out a place which is quite nearby, as mentioned here, and I think you got a little bit look at it. There are like a lot of nature. There's like lakes close by, and not too far away we also have the ocean, and the archipelago starts really close by. And I've told you already, we took a boat like a few weeks ago out to an island, but now there was this place not too far from where we live. We've been to the how to put it surrounding area, but not where we went this time. This was on Friday. The weather was fine. It was like the best of days, but fine. So we took the car. We drove into this like forest area, you might say, and we knew that when you walk out of there, you will be by the coast, and there are some really fancy villas and everything around there, and you can walk within the like outskirts of the forest, getting closer to the ocean and like cliffs and everything. So we did that. It was really beautiful and a nice place. And the good thing with that was that it was a bit like we were by ourselves. I can imagine like on a really, really good day, maybe there would be some people around there. But since we did take this extra like kilometer, you might say, of walking, we got to a place where, we were by ourselves. We could just sit on the cliffside there, literally just a few meters from the water, and chilling. And we had some coffee and cake with us, and just enjoyed. It was really, really nice. We went back closer to where we parked the car. There was this place where it was a bit more convenient to take a bath, well, it was a bit cold. I mean, still in the ocean, it can be like that, at least here. So Annalie and Adam took a short dip, you might say. And just before they were about to do that, we saw a seal actually.
Really?
Yeah, he just popped. It's the first time I see a seal that close, like in real life, like wildlife wise, if you understand what I mean. I've seen them from a distance before. I've seen them on a cob, like or on a small cliff, whatever have you, just resting. But this time around, he was close. He was like only maybe 20 meters out, Isaac spotted him first. It was like you saw the back of something coming up, like a sea monster. You know, oh, what's that? What's that? Oh, it's the Kraken. But it wasn't. It was a seal. Disappointed I was. But even so, and then the skull came out. Like, you know, they look like they are so they're cute animals. I have to say, looking around, and then he dived again and disappeared. We were like going out trying to see if we could see him, but he was probably already way out there somewhere. So that was sweet, a bit of that as well. But that was a beautiful Friday, or was it Friday? Yeah, Friday, I think. Maybe Thursday. Oh my God, days. But even so, the day after, we tried out the barbecue that Adam bought recently, the grill, and that was really nice, actually. We were at his place apparently, and had just a nice dinner meal together, eating some good stuff and everything. So that was that. But now, actually, on Monday morning, talking about trains and traveling, Annalie went down to visit her parents in the where
by
she comes
herself.
from. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, she's done that before. It's nothing weird.
She should take one of the boys at least, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, Adam is he still has vacation also this week, but he was busy doing other things, and Isaac actually didn't want to go this time. He was like, "Nah, I want to stay home." And I mean, you know, they're older now; they have their stuff, and I totally understand and respect that.
Oh,
And well, she knew that I was starting to do stuff this week, getting into work again. So that's nice. She's having a good time down there. She sent some nice pictures and everything. Also been eating good, and yeah, you know. And I think it's good too. As said, I mean, you know, our parents is old. They're old now, and it's you got to take the opportunities when you can to see them, you know.
yeah, definitely.
And at least yeah, and I mean it's quite to go. I mean, if we go with a car down there, it takes like 5-6 hours. Now she went by train. It takes like 4.5 hours, and you know the difference. At least you know you can just sit and relax on a train. So I guess the journey is a bit, you know,
comfortable,
softer.
man. I love trains.
Yeah, more comfortable.
Honestly, love trains, to be honest.
Yeah, it can be really nice. I agree with you. I mean, what the heck not? It's good. So she will be there. She's there now apparently, and she will come back on Friday. I'm gonna pick her up at the train station on Friday evening. So that's about it. And tomorrow I will go to the rehearsal place we have with the band. I'm gonna meet up with the guys. We have to set up things again and start to get on with the work with some new repertoire. I think we're gonna start to record actually as well. Yeah, that's it. It started to get back on. I actually streamed yesterday as well. As said before, I've had 2 weeks off, which is probably the longest I've been off streaming since I started. But it was good. It was a really good call. I'm happy that I did that because I felt good about it, being able to not have to think about like, oh, Tuesday or Wednesday evening or whatever, you know. So, and also as said before, now when I gone down to 2 days, like doing Tuesdays and Sundays instead of Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, also feels good because I know this evening I won't stream and I have time to do some other things, you know. And yeah, I think that's good. That was a good call actually.
Yeah.
So the week overall so far, and also from last week has been good. And as told early on in the podcast here, it's been a really mix of weather. I think July has of course been more wet than before, more rain, and it's going to be interesting to see. I hope that August can be, you know, nice. Sometimes August can be a really nice month when it comes to like you might say the last like scent of the summer, so to say. So yeah, hopefully that will be the case because we need the light at least. I hope it's going to be that, you know, because as you know also now you've lived in this climate for some time, it's going to get dark soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Darker. So yeah, we got to take.
You got to take the light that we can get when we get it, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. That's how it is. But yeah, it's been good. It's been good actually.
Okay. And by the way, I should mention my son just came with a smoothie for me. I'm
Look
pretty
at
sure
that.
he didn't make it. 99.9% sure Alex made it and sent him with it for me. So
No,
thank you to the
that's
missus.
nice.
And
Mm.
what seems to be a mold. So my assumption is she sent him to the shop to get some
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So
Yeah.
mhm.
Could be could
Plus
be
the smoothie
so.
tastes like it has bananas in it, and we don't have bananas. So it may not be bananas, but whatever she's put in it, it tastes really good though. It's a
Good.
nice mix
Good
of
for you.
whatever is in here.
Mm.
So
Good.
I don't miss you anymore, Chris. My missus made me a smoothie. I do miss you, Chris.
Yeah, changes
um,
quickly.
I
Yeah,
know,
so
right? I know it's a mix of emotions. Generally speaking, though, let's start to talk about some video games,
absolutely.
and I guess I'll start,
Sure.
and I'll be brief.
Yeah,
I've
same
been
here.
playing Trails in the Sky still, and I'm loving it. And
Good.
initially, I started off, and it was a bit challenging to start because the game is so dialogue heavy. You spend a lot of time reading, you know, and not that I don't like reading. It's just sometimes you just want to just get on with the action, and the game is you're stuck in a cutscene for like ages, just
Mm.
reading what the characters have to say. And I think now I'm getting more into it because of the fact that the dialogue is getting better and I'm able to do more things in the game, and I'm sort of like getting the hang of the whole gameplay loop.
Mm.
So yeah, I'd like to say Trails in the Sky has started to grow on me in some sense, a lot more than it was at the beginning. Like I'm not saying like I didn't like it at the beginning. I just felt like it was arduous. It was
Okay.
exhausting to play at the beginning because one, it didn't have any voice acting, and
Mm.
which I got a voice acting patch from someone, and two, it just seemed like it was dragging for too long into cutscenes. It still spends a long time in cutscenes. That not that it doesn't. It's just that I seem to appreciate them more. No, maybe because I care about the characters more. I don't know. Who cares? That being said, still playing Trails in the Sky. Still doing that bets to defeat Bao and win his £1,000. So Bao, I'm coming for you. I kind of messed with Bao the other day. I was streaming myself playing it, and I said I pretended to be sleeping and got someone from my chat to like take a picture and record me and send it to Bao and tell him that I was sleeping on the stream. So he'd think that he's winning because I'm not putting in the time. But yeah, that was a ploy. Um, mm.
Oh,
So yeah, so generally speaking, yeah, it's just been chill. Just been your boys just been pretty much with Chosen the Sky. I have not really played anything else recently, and I probably won't play anything else for a little while.
mm.
But what about you, Rod? What have you been playing?
Yeah. Well, yesterday I did go back and play Planet Side 2.
Mm-hmm.
This is still a game that I play on a continuous basis.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of interesting, as said, since it's like a bit more than 2 years ago since I kind of discovered the game, even though it's been out there for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
No, 11, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so much to do, and it's like it's fun. It's basically fun, and they are still, even though like older players have some things to say about Daybreak Games, consider how it was in the beginning when Sony Interactive was in charge. There's
Mm-hmm.
differences probably. I can't really tell because I wasn't around at that point of time. But they are still, I mean, there are consistent updates, and they have these summer events, and there's things happening. I think sometimes when I go in and check like the patch notes or updates, it looks almost as if they're doing more things in this old game than I can see some are doing with newer games.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's on my repertoire still, and it will most likely stay there. However, I wanted to mention also an older game that I
Mm-hmm.
have played before, but just went back, made a video about it. It's also free-to-play shooter, but not like PlanetSide, which is a huge like
Mm-hmm.
Battlefield kind of a game, but a game called Black Squad, and I have talked about this before. I said free-to-play. It's been out there since 2019. It's developed by Valufi or NS Studio, and also published by Valufi.
Mm-hmm.
This is a kind of a cool game because it has like mechanics gunplay wise that reminds me a bit, at least, about Counter-Strike. Also the movement. So it has that kind of style, you might say. And it also has or have had a competitive scene, and I can understand why. But it also has quite a lot of customization and a bit of a, how do you say, yeah, a kind of aesthetic that brings also your thoughts to more casual shooters like Call of Duty in a way. But it's interesting though, when I went back, I still have fun playing this game, even though I mainly just played team deathmatch and some arms race, when you start with one, everyone has the same gun, and when you get like, I think it's 2 kills, you get another gun and so forth until you reach the end, and then if you then are on top of the scoreboard, apparently you win. So, and that was really fun. I had a good time. I think the best thing with this game, I mean, the graphics are pretty, compared to some other titles, it's a bit like, it's not that special. I mean, it's a bit outdated, you could say. But on the other hand, that's not the most important thing. But the gunplay is, and the gunplay in this game is quite good, or it's actually quite satisfying. So therefore, I still think that it's a game that can be looked into for people that would like to play a shooter like this. However, it's one problem is cheaters apparently. Unfortunately, it's like, I mean, I haven't, since I don't play it like on a regular basis, I can't really tell. I mean, I've encountered some cheaters also in PlanetSide 2, actually quite recently. I think it was only about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, when I made another video about the game. But it's hackers in here as well, using different kind of cheats, and it can of course become really frustrating for some people. I think they think it's almost unplayable to a certain extent. And it's sad. It's like, I think, as someone said on Steam, that maybe a thing to do. I don't know how they think about this game now. It's old, and do they care about it? But I mean, they should probably focus on cleaning like the community when it comes to banning, the people that are actually in there ruining the experiences for others. So, but it's yeah, it is what it is. This is a problem not only in a game like Black Squad, but others as well. We know that AAA games like Call of Duty, even though they have most, or I know they have more advanced, and I've described a bit like ways to both detect cheaters and also take care of them. I mean, I mentioned that if they might put cheaters together in the same lobby, which I think is brilliant. They can make them they can make the other players invisible for them. And it's a lot of things they have developed now to actually take care of cheaters, not only in ways to ban them, that's one thing, of course, but also to punish them while playing.
I think making them invisible sounds like a good idea. Like making them not see other players, because then the other players can see them and kill them, and they can't.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what they've done. They also done it so that their weapons don't do any damage. So it's like, it's a lot of things. They also put dummies onto the maps, meaning that the cheating players will see other players, but they aren't players. They're just dummies. So it's a lot of things, almost mocking some of the cheaters in that sense, and I think that's what they deserve. I can't say that I feel sorry for them. So
yeah, I don't feel sorry for people who ruin
I
games
can understand they
this.
can't go that path here in Black Squad. It's an older game; they don't have that, but at least it's. But the overall, if you just coming back to the positive, the gunplay here is good. It's fun actually. It's nothing that I would spend time now to like play as a main and like invest time or even a bit of money. I wouldn't do that. But once in a while, it's one of those once in a while game for me, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's Black Squad for you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds like a plan.
We can with the speed of light get into talking a bit about Tele and things. I'm a bit looking forward to talk about the movie I watched, but you have also been watching something.
Yeah, I watched some this morning.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Beautiful.
So I got up this morning and I was like, I don't think I watched anything this week. I can't remember watching anything this week for the podcast. What am I going to talk about? And I'm pretty sure I watched something. I'm sure, like I maybe watched a YouTube video on something or whatever have you.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I don't think I've watched anything like
Yeah.
to talk about on the podcast. And I ended up saying to myself, you know what, I'm gonna watch some this morning, and then I'll get on the podcast because I got up early enough. So I was like, yeah, I have like 2 hours before the podcast starts. I have enough time to watch something. So I basically put on this like I was on YouTube actually at the time.
Yeah.
And there was this comedian called Jimmy O something. I put it in the show notes and I forgot it now. Oh bloody hell. I think it's, you know what? I could just check YouTube. We're on YouTube, but I'm not logged in on the right.
Yeah,
we're not logged in on the right account. Oh, bollocks. If I type into Google, do you think Google's gonna remember what I typed? Jimmy.
Sometimes.
I can't remember his last name. Jimmy O Yang. That's the guy.
Oh, look at that! You found it.
Yeah, Jimmy O Yang. He's got a Prime Video special. A comedy special on Prime Video. And I watched it last night. I think the Prime Video special was called, let's see if I can find it here, if I can find the right name. This seems so ill prepared. Like I looked this up just before we started and then wrote it in the show notes and then wrote it into the YouTube thing for the show notes and then forgot it. Because I can't see that while we're live, I can't see it, but you guys in the chat can see all the information there for whatever reason. You guys watching it, I can't see it. But either way, he's got a Prime special. I'll find it while I'm talking about it. I like watching comedy specials. I think they're nice. Yeah. Not every one of them are good, but some of them are just really, really good. I think he had a really, really good one. I mean, not all of his jokes landed for me in the sense of like, I wasn't like rolling on the floor and stuff for like every single joke he told. But some of them were pretty hilarious. And then some I laughed at, like I laughed up like, yeah, that's kind of funny. So yeah, I think it's called Good Deal. I think that's the name of his comedy special, Good Deal. And no, it's not that one actually. This is a different one. What the hell, Amazon? Why are you showing me? Why is Amazon throwing me off? Like I searched on Prime Video and now it's telling me yes, it's called Guess How Much. That's the name of it. Guess How Much. And that's actually one of the jokes he tells in the comedy special. It's a joke about his mom actually. And I have to say it was really hilarious. Jimmy O Yang, really hilarious. I've seen him in films before. I've seen him in because he's an actor as well as a comedian. So he does stand up and then he also does acting as well. And I've seen him in stuff before and I've liked him in stuff I've seen him in before. Not like oh he's my favorite character, but I was like, I like this guy. He's got some good chops. But this comedy special was nice. I liked it. I will highly recommend it. I don't have a listing for it on IMDb. I'm trying to find it. I can't seem to find it. If I could find the listing, because it came out this year, 2023. If I could find a listing, I would give it something like a 10. No, sorry, not a 10. Maybe like a 9, 8, 9, somewhere around there is good. I think it was funny. Not all the jokes are funny for me, but he did a good job, and his final joke landed really good. And I think that's the thing about it. When you can set up a good comedy special and your final joke lands, then yeah, you're feasting at that point in time. So I would just say, yeah, go check out Jimmy O Yang. Guess How Much. I think he's hilarious. I think you'll like him. That's about that. What about you, Raj? What have you been watching?
Yeah, well, it's not comedy, that I can say. It's a different genre indeed. It's a kind of a biography crime drama, you might say. And this is a movie called Legend, and it can be found on Netflix. It's a Tom Hardy movie. I would say it's definitely a lot of Tom Hardy, actually times 2, because he plays identical twins in this twin gangsters, for that sake, Ronald and Reginald Cray, that terrorizes London during the 1960s. So it's a cool era. It's East End to start with, and Tom Hardy is great, as always, I would say. This is actually based on a true story, which makes it even more interesting in some ways. and they are quite well identical, definitely when it comes to the looks, but and they have definitely like yeah, I mean they're brothers, right? And you can definitely tell, but they are different when it comes to the personalities. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to spoil or describe so much more if you want to watch it. Yeah, it's an old movie. That is correct. It's an old movie, but a good movie, definitely. It
Mm-hmm.
was made back in 2015, if that's considered old, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
A perfect kind of normal length of movie, 2 hours, 12 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and it has a 6.9 on IMDb. It's definitely around a 7.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, for me, usually when a movie is around 7, it's definitely worth watching, but also good. And this is one of those. This is a good movie. So I also want to give some credit to Emily Browning, which plays Francis, which is the wife of one of the Tom Hardys, you might say.
Mm.
Yeah, they're legends in the UK. Everyone knows them, which is true. This was it's a, how should I put it? It's an engaging story. Probably will awaken a bit of emotions as well if you're into that.
I don't
And
have those sort of things, but go on.
yeah, exactly. I mean, but I know, but for those that might have, might be a bit affected.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's some yeah, emotional moments, some laughs, but also some action and some pretty bloody stuff happening once in a while. But again, Emily Brown is also doing a good job. This is overall a good casting in this movie. I think they've done
Mm-hmm.
really well. Uh, she's also very cute, Emily. I can't recall right now where I've seen her before. Quite a few roles actually, but it's directed by Brian Helgeland. That's an sounds like a Norwegian family name, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, good stuff. I like this. Again, Tom Hardy, he's good. He's good. It's worth watching, definitely.
Tom Hardy's all
Uh,
right, but he's no Jimmy O Yang. Just putting that out there. He's
Wait,
no Jimmy O
what do you wait? I
Yang.
want to see that. Their stories are spoken of till these days. It will always they need a movie. Yeah. Usually that happens when it becomes like this urban like legend. You might say it will eventually end up on the white screen, widescreen maybe not widescreen, widescreen,
Mm-hmm.
and it did in 2015. No, this was one of those tips I got from my oldest son, of course, Agent Adam. Am I surprised? No. Uh, but again, yeah, that was it. That's legend for you. Yep.
Again, he's no Jimmy O Yang. Just putting that out there. Tom Hardy is he's alright.
He's all right. Yeah,
I'm
he
just
is.
I'm just saying Jimmy O Yang starred in Love Hard, and if you guys know anything about me, I love Love Hard. So like
Okay. Now I get it. Okay. I
when
follow.
when you play a good character in a good romantic movie, I mean,
Mm,
and because
yeah, yeah.
the whole time like you were talking about Tom Hardy and how amazing his gangster movie is and all that kind of good stuff. I was there in the IMDb's. I was like, I've seen Jimmy Yang in something before. I just can't remember the name of it. And then I found it and I was like, it was Love Hard. I love it. Brilliant.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
good. You see, yeah.
So yeah, I've seen him in a couple things apparently. But anyway, that being said,
Yeah.
Jimmy Young is cool. Tom Hardy sucks, and I'm saying this because I know my missus is a big Tom Hardy fan, and I just want to mess with her. But
Yeah. You guys need to talk about this off stream, I think. Yeah, I
Oh,
said
she's
it
so easy to mess with.
awakens emotions, but
That being,
sometimes, yeah.
mm-hmm.
No. Go on.
I'll say that being said,
Yeah.
I think we've got to the end of the episode, isn't it?
Yes, it's
Hmm.
the end. It's time to close shop and move on with the day and all that beautiful stuff. Yeah. So with that said, as always, as I go on here, I want to say thank you for listening.
Mm-hmm.
Also, both live and also afterwards when it comes to the podcast. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, as Q said, please leave a like. That always helps. And hopefully, we'll meet up next week. In a week
Mm-hmm.
from now, we'll be back talking a bit more about our lives and the beautiful things that we experience, and also maybe not that beautiful. Life is a bit of a roller coaster, so we try to cover that as well.
Cool.
But stay healthy, my friends. Enjoy the video gaming and the Tele. We're giving some good tips here, so go on with it. And with that said, muffin and out.
Ah. beautiful as always. We'll see how it goes. That being said,
Yep.
whoo, I'm feeling a bit chilly. My tank top is starting to wear out its welcome. That being said, thank you very much for those of you who came in to listen to the podcast. You can find Raj. He streams pretty much everywhere at the name 40 with a number 40 with SPLASH, so that's 40 Splash. Oh god, I've got gas in my throat from that mold. Excuse me, give me a sec. Just breathe the air and stuff like that. Whew. Let me see if I remember the days you're streaming right now. He streams on a Tuesday and on a Sunday. That's correct?
That is correct.
Oh, I'm good at it. Oh, love it. You can find me at LP Garden. This garden to you pretty much everywhere. It's LP Garden. You can also find me streaming on LP Garden, which I haven't been doing. I've been doing recently on a Monday and a Thursday. I've been streaming on YouTube before. Yeah. Actually, streaming on YouTube has actually been pretty chill because you get. I feel like YouTube is paying me more than Twitch to stream.
Most likely, I can imagine.
I'm getting more on YouTube, and I haven't been uploading videos for a while, so like I need to put stuff on my channel anyway. So I feel like I'm getting more on YouTube than Twitch. Also, I can get super chats, and Twitch doesn't give me super chats. So yeah. I mean, if Twitch had a super chat feature, I mean, your boy would be feasting on Twitch too, but we don't have that. So I do plan to be on my Twitch account a bit every now and then. La-di-da, I'll be back. Don't worry. I know some of you guys are like, oh, when are you coming back to Twitch? I ain't abandoning my Twitch. I put some time in on that thing. But yeah, I'm on YouTube for the minute. So if you want to catch me in LP Garden, you can find us at pretty much everywhere at Simply Binge or at Simply Binge UK. Pretty much everywhere else. And as always, we would many beautiful people like subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Acast, Spotify, iTunes, Simply Binge, and elsewhere. And wait, did I say that? Did I say? Oh, you know, I've forgotten how to do the ending, isn't it? How do you start this again?
Well,
I've actually forgotten how to do the ending, to be honest.
It can be started in many ways, but
I'm not even kidding. Like, I've actually forgotten how to do the ending. How do you do the ending again? I used to have a note in front of me with everything, and I've not been using it for a while.
Yeah, beautiful people like you, blah blah blah, confident to subscribe, and, whatever have you. I mean, I don't say that, so I've heard it many times. You got
yours down perfectly, and I haven't. So as always, guys, we would like guys to miss on another episodes of that Beautiful Life podcast. Many beautiful people like subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Acast, Spotify, iTunes, Simply.com, YouTube, and elsewhere. And we're coming to like a double give me for free. So as always, guys, this has been cued. Your pleasure. And it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
I did that.